Bro, let's get into this top story. The hot topic that's just taking over everybody's conversation. This Diddy Doc. I know
Yeah.
when we first talked about it, you had some thoughts about 50 doing the doc. You thought it was a little suspect that he did it. Where are you at with that now?
So listen, I'm gonna be honest with you though, man. I'm not that far. I'm still pretty much where I originally was. So this is what I mean by it. So I think that the documentary was set in position to kind of guide your thoughts, right? You're when you're directing it, you're presenting evidence and you're presenting topics and you're trying to paint a picture. And because it's 50 Cent and his personal issues with Diddy, you know what I'm saying? He's trying to paint Diddy a certain way. And that's even including presenting facts, but almost like doing some misdirection on those facts. So right.
Mm-hmm.
So like some of the things that get me like I didn't necessarily learn anything new from the documentary that you haven't. If you've seen several people talk about this, then you wouldn't hear anything new. But then outside of that, I mean, like if you are a historian of hip hop and stories in hip hop, then you also don't find anything, and you know things contrary to it. So, like I'm gonna tell you this specifically, the things that I necessarily have a problem with, and not to defend Diddy at all, but I'm talking about to present to to present a depiction of Diddy as if he had something to do with Biggie dying, and to present it as if he has something to do with Pac dying, like if he killed them, right? That's something that I think is wild because I mean, if you know that those people have there's already been admissions for that. That's already been found, like the people who that that is absolutely false. But I think that the way it's
Uh,
oh yeah, that listen, it's old. Like I'm talking
okay,
about, it's old,
this is
and the
this is the thing.
motivations too.
Yeah, but okay. You talking about admissions of stuff, right? But some of the people of the admission said that they got the word from Diddy though. So how
Yeah,
is
but
that?
see, but this is my thing. As long as I've known, Keefe D has gotten on anywhere he could, and him and his brothers has admitted that they killed Biggie, right? In response, in retaliation to Pop. But the way that this documentary positions it, it's almost as if Diddy is doing it because he don't want Biggie to leave him or whatever, whatever. It's like, no, there was already a specific motive behind that. And then the same with the Tupac, though, right? Like, yeah, you could the things that may have been true about how Diddy felt about Tupac, but to present it as if he had motive to do it, like that's the part that I think is just completely false, though.
But if the people who like the Fed tape that they're playing and they're saying that Diddy is the one that paid them to do it, how is that like you that's not a false statement.
I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is that when that's been presented in courts, right? In the findings, because okay, so this is what I'm saying. If that was true, though, right? If they presented that in a court, right? Diddy would have been arrested long time ago for that.
But there hasn't been there's new information in the case because up until a couple of years ago, they didn't have who did what. So what I'm saying is if
Yes.
oh, okay, but what I'm saying
Listen,
is
listen.
this. You're saying it like they created some material to say this. What I'm saying is the Fed tape that they played is from the person who did it. He
Yeah,
cooperated. So if
I
he's
get that.
okay, so that's not a made up thing though. You're saying that
Right, but no, 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 it's not that. It's not that. What I'm saying is that them people been saying that. They've been saying that Diddy paid them to do it. And they've been saying that Diddy was supposed to give them payment that they didn't get. They've already been saying this for some years, though, right? And so my thing is that that's something all I'm saying is that for that, I didn't learn anything new. And the same way how we were saying, hey, well, you know what, Diddy, you know what, you are this domestic abuser, you're a wife beater. but you weren't convicted on those things. You weren't charged on those things. My thing is that this is that part is similar. That's something that, yeah, while that particular tape itself in itself might be new, but that conversation, right, has always been known. It's been known for some years. People, they have been saying that for years. And that's something that's already been known way back then, though, bro.
Right, but the
Like I
case is
understand that
still
that's
open though with the Diddy stuff. I mean, with those cases though.
no, not that I'm aware of.
Yes, they are, bro. Like in the doc.
PPD
Listen,
already
listen what I'm saying. Listen, in the doc, after they would say this is where these cases are. Like they would say this is where this is at. This is where this is at. So what I'm saying is that is still an open case with the whole thing about them trying to put the stuff on Diddy for like it was an open case. That's why it was in the doc like that. This wasn't
I
like
understand.
presented to be new information. Like, oh, so if it's an open case, that's why he hasn't been arrested and stuff for it yet. There's new information.
Listen, man. I guess okay. I'm just saying that this, and then I understand that you're saying that's new information. All I'm saying is that the people who killed Tupac, I mean, the people who killed Biggie in response to Tupac, they have already been saying when they were questioned, right? When they were questioned originally, they said, yes, we did do it. They admitted it. And they said, yes, Diddy was. So I get that this is another person saying the same thing, but what I'm saying is that this has already been said. That wasn't anything new at all. Keefy D is listen, Ace. Keefy D got on Vlad TV like 3 different times and basically said that though, bro.
Right. And but he also just the reason why he was saying it on Vlad because he made a deal with the feds to speak up, which is why we got the tape the way we did. I understand what you're saying that all this information has been out there, but they couldn't. What I'm saying is it's enough new evidence to where it's open right now. So what I'm saying
It
is
doesn't. That part doesn't do anything. But okay, you that okay. Let's say I'll give you that if that's the case. For me, it doesn't do anything new. It doesn't tell me anything new. It doesn't change my perspective of it. It doesn't do anything. It's just like now the thing that some of the stuff that I think that is crazy, right? Is the crazy part. I understand that there's business involved, but when Biggie died, when they was just like, oh yeah, Biggie died, and you basically wanted to make his funeral the biggest funeral that everybody's seen, but you wanted to be recoupable. I guess to me, that wasn't as big of a deal to me. I understood the business of that though, right? That if you're saying, hey, I'm gonna have a funeral for the world to see, and I'm going to spend this money and I'm going to do it as a tax write off. I'm going to spend as much as I want to then on it because it's going to be a tax write off. I'm not mad at that part of it. It does seem on the surface slimy that you basically, I made him pay for his own funeral, but it's like you're paying for it out of his contract and it's recouping. And that's the business part of it though. So, I mean,
yeah, but it's what I think the people why people are so like why that's such a big deal because you said that Diddy was your man's right, and then if you gonna pay for it out of a business expense, then pay for it from Bad Boy and recoup the expenses from it business wise. Why is it coming out of Biggie's contract when if the man is dead, the assets and everything should go to whoever, and then changing the contract and stuff like that that's the slime ball part.
changing the contract gets slime ball, but changing. Listen, they used to say that Baby did the same thing though, right? And
Okay, so that
like I
doesn't
said,
make it any less slime ballish.
it doesn't make it any less something. So that part is changing contracts afterwards. That's the part that make it real slime ballish. But if you're saying like Ace, if I passed away and you said if somebody said, "Yo, Ace, you know what though, bro? You can host a funeral for him." And by you doing the funeral for him, you can throw a $10 million funeral from him that you could basically do as a tax write-off. All you have to do is this for Charlie. You could just say, let's say outside of you changing my contracts, right? Well, let's just say if you just said no, there's a way that you can basically say, oh, you know what, this was a recoupable expense basically, so you get the money back from it though, bro. Like I don't see
Yeah,
why
but
that's the issue. The
if I
issue is
told Niqua I was gonna pay for your funeral, but then I did it through some money that should go to her, that's what I have an issue with. That's what I have an issue with. If I tell Nikwa I'm gonna pay for your funeral, but then the money that I'm paying for it with is money that should go to her because she's your next of kin, that's
Yeah,
foul. If I
that is
come out
foul.
if I come out on TV and say, "Yo, I got Charlie's my boy, I'm paying for his funeral. I got everything." But then it comes out that I paid for it with some money that should have went to Nikwa because now that you're dead, nah, that's wrong.
Now, listen, the thing that I think that these are some things that I think that's just kind of, when you look at the people who were doing the interviews, right?
Mhm.
Like the dude with the dreads, who was one of the dudes that was the founder, that said Diddy walked up on him with the bat and said, "Give,
Yeah.
give me your 25%." Like, I think that that's one thing. It definitely to me felt like him and Diddy, when he was suing Diddy for sexual assault and everything
Mhm.
himself, though, right? And my thing is that it felt to me like when I was watching it, I was like, yo, no, I think that I it felt like to me, bro, that him and Diddy were like a couple. Like he seemed scorned to me, not just from the money aspect of it, but he seemed to me like he was a scorned lover to me, though, bro.
I mean, I've heard even people say that about Lil Rod, right? Like they felt like, oh, if you would have got your money from getting paid from doing the
Hey,
Love album, then
hey,
you would have been down for whatever
hey,
because you was waking up with dudes.
listen,
Yeah.
listen, bro. And this is my thing. It's like I get it, but it's like to me, I think that that's my thing. You presented a bunch of people who have some type of issue with him. And I think that if you present some non-biased people who are just people who speak, it's almost like it's like you're doing a character witness of people who just can't stand you.
Okay. So what about the the jurors? They didn't have a.
The juror had a relationship with Diddy. They pulled up old pictures of her and Diddy. She was a fan,
She said she was a fan. So you got
right?
somebody
But,
that
but
so she has no. So if she's a fan, that's not somebody who scorned against Diddy.
yeah, but my thing is that she had put this when the black girl, she
Yes.
looked like regardless that she was going to vote the way that she wanted. She voted in favor of Diddy. That's the reason
Right.
why she didn't go hard on.
You helping my point. So you just said most
Right,
of the people you said everybody in the doc was biased. I'm saying she
right. But she,
wasn't.
well, no, I'm saying, but no, but this is my thing. She has a bias in herself. It just wasn't in
She's
favor of the
biased for
documentary.
him though. But you're saying the
Right, right,
people
right.
you said the people everybody in the doc was scoring. That's what I'm saying. She
Listen,
wasn't.
not everyone. I said that you have everyone who has a bias toward him, whether it's good or bad. I'm just saying you should have non-biased people that just says, "Hey, this is what happened." Somebody who doesn't have an issue, someone who doesn't care, someone who doesn't stand to win or have lost anything.
But I think this was a doc to present people who had like you had multiple people that had issues with him that all pretty much were having the same reaction as far as being done wrong in a way against him. There if somebody wants to make the reverse doc, I mean you that's any documentary though.
Sure, sure. But listen, because that's just like you can. I'm sure there are people that you can find. That's why he was calling around to see, hey, I need you to be a character witness. I need you to do a character. I'm pretty sure Diddy can find 10 people who have nothing but good things to do to sing his
Mhm.
praise.
Right.
So you have, and that's just like if you have Stevie J, he's only gonna say good. All of the hitmen probably gonna say something good. Mary J, all gonna say something good. Like he can find people, and that's what I'm saying. I think that
Okay.
this was
But
just
let
a
me
good
ask you a
time.
question though. Let me ask you a question. What about Diddy talking bad about Diddy though?
What do you mean?
The footage of Diddy doing Diddy stuff on camera, like the stuff like how people talked about how power hungry he was or how manipulative he was, and the stuff that he was like the, the footage that everybody's like, how did 50 get this footage of Diddy talking to his lawyers, of Diddy in the car after he just got done talking to people on the street, like the stuff that it was he was incriminating him his own self. What you got to say
I
about
think
that
that
footage?
So again, I think it's ridiculous that you're filming yourself and you don't have all the rights to it. So for that, that is what it is. But here's my thing about it: you have hundreds of hours of it, and you basically cherry pick certain clips, right, for the film, that one that paints that particular narrative of him. So I get it. He said it. He did it. That is what it is, though, right? He's like, don't be that way, and there's
Okay.
no footage of you
Well, let me
doing it.
well let me ask
I'm
you
not.
this.
I'm not.
But do you okay? Outside of what you perceive as the bias towards this doc, right? Do you believe any of the stuff?
No, I do. I do, right? I'm just saying that I didn't learn anything new from it. The
Yeah,
thing that
but
either
that's
this
because
thing,
you were connected. You were connected, like you were almost in the industry, so to speak, right? But this, I don't think that this doc was all just for people who knew about the stuff, because there were
right?
things I did learn in it, even though I was connected to some of the stories. There were some
Yeah,
details.
yeah, I did. I do that. There may have been some additional details,
Mhm.
but I don't feel like I learned very much anything new. Here's the thing I think that's crazy though. The things that I learned that were the new stuff, right? Like the some of the personal stories, I appreciated those because it does give you context. But it's like if you're trying to pay, like this is my thing,
Mhm.
like Eric Sermon saying that Diddy was mad that he was talking to old girl, so he came to his car and punched him in the face. And then he said, "Yo, hop in my car, man. Let's go around the corner to throw hands, right?" And then he says, "Yo, hold on, man. Let me let you play this. Let me let you hear this Biggie tape." And I'm just like, see stuff like that. And this is the problem that I have now. Eric Sermon, timing wise, he has this. He's in the Diddy documentary, and now he has an album out that comes out right after the documentary. And now he's also on a press tour to talk about his album. It's like, come on, man. It's like that when I went. It's like I do appreciate the stories, though, bro. But it's almost like the motive, though, man. Is that's the thing. I just like I would love to just hear an unbiased version of the truth that doesn't have a
Yeah, but
motive,
that
that isn't trying to
but
paint
here's
this,
the
that
thing
these
though.
are we're presenting the facts.
But that's the thing. Their perception is their reality though.
That's true. I get that.
So
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that comment actually, because I think that for me, I understand. Like I'm not, that's why I think I told you a long time ago, man, that I'm not gonna argue somebody else's truth. Like that's their perspective of something that happened.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't want to be one to try to argue off of your perspective of the truth, though, right? That's you. Right. It's just if I experience that same truth a different way and it's different from yours, you can't tell me I'm lying. I can't tell you that you're lying, though, right? So I get this that their perspective is their truth, though, right? I just think that in the end, though, man, I felt like because 50 was involved with it,
Mhm.
that 50 has a direct motive of embarrassing. You know what I honestly believe? I've always been trying to figure out what is 50's motive behind it, right? And I think that, you know what I honestly believe? This is that we might want to slide in allegedly here, though, right?
Yeah.
But 50 always talked about how Diddy took him out, offered him to take him shopping, right? Asked him to want to go shopping. I honestly believe that Diddy was trying to get at 50, bro, like trying to holler at 50. Because 50 released, apparently 50 released not that long ago, like some text messages of Diddy trying to invite him over for some drinks at the late hour. I think that Diddy was trying to holler at 50 though, bro. And maybe 50 felt some kind of way about like you really trying to holler. And then to make it even more, I think that somewhere down the line, though, bro, there had to have been some kind of rift that happened between them two, where they actually would have had or exchanged words in some capacity or whatever that situation was. And then Diddy goes and get with his girl and has a baby by her. And I think that it's like now your ops then went and had a baby with your girl. It's just like I see that he might hate Diddy, but there has to be something else that happened between 50, because you can't just be like, yeah, I just don't like him. He ain't a good person. No, something personally happened. And I just feel like that Diddy was really trying to get at 50, bro.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I get that, but I also feel like when I watched the doc, I never saw a 50 thumbprint on it to me. Like I'm glad that 50 didn't do any interviews in the doc. Like the doc just felt like a very well crafted documentary to me. Uh I never watched any of the R. Kelly joints, as I'm sure it was like leaning towards the same way of people who were scorned by Kells. I never watched any of the Michael Jackson doc. You know what I'm saying? Uh this one just felt like I just wanted to see like the fact that what drew me into wanting to see it was because they had footage of Diddy saying the stuff Diddy was saying. That's what drew me in, not so much the other stuff. It was Diddy is saying this stuff on camera. This ain't AI. Like
Yeah,
this is Diddy
yeah,
saying it. Like, hold on, get this angle. Or if I stand over here and do this, then oh, like I don't have a voice, but y'all got a voice. Y'all could be saying something, or like y'all, you on CNN, but the TikTok is where it's popping. Like all of that stuff. That's that. I mean, it was cool to see his mindset on trying to win a case
yes.
because I mean, you fighting for your life,
You
but it
could
was
tell he
just
was desperate.
you could tell he was desperate. And he was trying to remove, like, he was trying to, he's like, look, y'all are the professionals, and I'm trying to give y'all the space to do it, but we're losing. That part I didn't have an issue with. But, I don't know. I didn't this, I didn't again, I know that there are three sides to a story, but I liked the way everything was presented. I still thought it was professionally done. I didn't feel like it was just like just a complete slander job. Cause I mean, here's the thing. The last episode to me was almost shooting Diddy bail because you got the jurors on there saying why they voted the way that they did. And we know ultimately he quote unquote got off with what he could have been charged for, right?
Yeah.
So to me, you presented all this evidence of how much power he has, how much he was able to do X, Y, and Z and manipulate people and do this and got off from this and got off from there. All it did was present a story of him having all of this power and feeling like he can get away with stuff. But ultimately, this is where we still ended up in the same spot.
Didn't do him any favors, bro. Didn't do him any favors with the it didn't do you any favors that you knowingly recorded yourself, got this footage out there. You gotta know it's gonna go to the highest bidder. You gotta know it's gonna go to the
But
highest
but
bidder.
but you know
So
why that footage was available? Because of some of the same thing that happened in the doc, right? You don't pay people.
yeah.
That's
And
that's
you'd like to think, bro, they say you worth the Billy. Why do you have a problem with paying thousands if you worth the Billy?
that's what I'm saying. That was the narrative that was told in the doc. So it matched, it made sense. So that wasn't a
Yeah,
far
but
stretch.
here's the thing about it. But this is again when you talk about the idea of painting a picture, because the same way how you had this as a narrative, a theme through this of you not paying people, you could very well create a documentary where somebody's talking about all this dude did was pay for this. He paid me, he gave me this money, he got it. Like when you only are highlighting the bad parts of somebody and you never highlight their good deeds, sure, you can paint that picture for them. Like, there's the thing about it, though, man. Somebody, you think about that, though, Ace. If somebody only put together a reel of your low lights, they can make you look a certain way to somebody who don't know you, bro.
Right, but to me though, this doc wasn't the job of this doc, and I'm okay with that because again, there should be somebody to, like you said, you can find if you can find three people that got something bad to say, you can find 10 that say something good. That's so then let them put the doc out on everything Diddy's done well for them.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm just saying
Yeah.
for the purpose of this doc, all I'm saying is it looked professional to me. In my personal opinion, I didn't feel like it had a 50 thumb on it. Like
Don't get me wrong. It was good. It was really good. Like, I watched it all the way through,
mhm.
and it was good. But I do feel like Diddy would. I only feel like 50 involvement was because it supported the narrative and what he's been pushing about Diddy.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I don't think that he would have been involved.
yeah.
Yeah. Hey, man. We are 9 days away from Christmas, though, bro. You got all your Christmas shopping done?
I am not. I won't be done until the last week of Christmas. Uh, but I mean, I know where everything is at. Like all the big stuff is good. Like if we closed it out today, I'd be straight. But there's still some other things that I want to seal up, though.
Yeah, I think I'm about the same, man. I think that oddly enough, bro, I think I'm going to I'm gonna of course be doing more Christmas shopping probably on this week. I think I'm gonna try to do a little bit here and there every day this week. I don't think I'm that far away from being done with the gifts that I wanted to buy though, man. So yeah, I think that it should be a good week though. I don't think I'll be scrambling too much. But oddly enough though, man, I'm one of the people who when people say that they don't like to be in the hustle and bustle of shopping and in malls. I do, man. I love
Me
that though,
too.
man. So I think that I might actually just get out and about in the malls this weekend just to be on that time though, bro.
Yeah. Well, cool, bro. Well, look, we appreciate y'all for joining us. We are the Slash Brothers, Ace Kennedy, Charlie V from ATL to OKC, and we will see y'all next time. We out.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast.
Can you dig it,
of all time.
sucker?